When the commander told me he would test my shooting the next day, something stirred inside me. It wasn't fear. It wasn't anxiety. It was that old, quiet focus I knew from childhood, the same feeling I had when I stood beside my grandfather in the forest. We watched, we waited, we breathed with the trees. Back then, it was only about not spooking the game, about hearing more than your eyes could see. The stake. But now the stakes were different. This wasn't about proving something to my family. This was about earning my place in the 2nd Foreign Parachute Regiment, about the right to wear this kepi, the right to be one of them. Dawn at Raffalli. Before sunrise, Camp Raffalli was already awake. The scrape of boots on gravel, the metallic clatter of weapons, orders tearing through the morning air. The Corsican mountains behind the camp were still just dark silhouettes as we formed up. The order. When the commander reached me, he didn't stop for long. His eyes scanned me from head to toe, and then he uttered just 2 words. Follow me. It wasn't a request. It was a physical emanation of will. The walk to the range. We walked toward the shooting range in silence. This silence wasn't empty. It was filled with the rush of blood in my ears and 1,000 questions with no answers. 2 corporals were already there, checking flags, adjusting markers, preparing rifles. The air smelled of dust, oil, and old gunpowder. A scent that becomes part of your skin. The FAMAS, the tool. You'll begin with the FAMAS, the commander said. His voice was flat, technical, short distance, then medium, then long. The weapon was cold and familiar, its weight distributed perfectly in my hands. The first shots. We started at 25 meters, standing. 3 quick shots, accurate, all in the dead center. It wasn't difficult. It was a warm-up, a priming of muscles and habits. Next, 100 meters, kneeling. The wind kicked up dust from the valley floor, creating a moving veil. I had to feel its rhythm. Another burst, another clean grouping. The commander didn't react, didn't comment. He simply watched. His gaze was like a touch on the back of my neck. Shifting to patience 200 meters. Prone. The target shimmered in the heat haze as I settled into position. I wasn't thinking about technique anymore. I was thinking about breath, in, out, squeeze, 3 rounds, 3 hits, still no reaction from the commander. I thought that was the end of the test. I was wrong. A new weapon, a new rule. One of the corporals brought out a different rifle, longer, heavier, fitted with a scope. This was no longer an infantry tool. This was a precision instrument, surgical. The commander said quietly, almost in a whisper, 600 meters. No warm-up, no instructions, just distance and expectation. The world through the scope. I lay in the prone position, looked through the scope, adjusted for wind. The target looked tiny, almost unreal at that distance. This wasn't target practice. It was a conversation with distance itself. Every tiny heartbeat was a betrayal. The shot and the echo I fired. A faint metallic sound of impact echoed off the valley walls and returned to us a second later, a confirmation. Hit, the corporal reported, the commander's voice hard. Again. The rhythm of precision. Second shot, hit. Third shot, hit. He didn't smile. He didn't nod. He simply moved on. His indifference was more eloquent than any praise. The ultimate test, last part, he said. Moving target, 1 shot, 4 seconds. The silhouette on the track came to life. The target crossed fast, too fast to think. Instinct took over. Thought shut down. There was only movement, predicting the path, a smooth lead. 1 round. The verdict. The corporals checked the silhouette. Hit. Center mass. The commander finally looked at me. really looked. You shoot like someone who understands what responsibility means. Pierre was right. But then he added, you passed, but that means nothing yet. Now the real work begins. And he turned away. I didn't feel triumph. I felt a void, and within it, a small, cold seed of determination. The grind, the real legend. There was no celebration, no handshake, no congratulations. The day continued as if nothing had happened. Training, drills, procedures, cleaning weapons, running across the base under the Corsican sun that beat down as if trying to burn all weakness out of you. The realization. I realized something important then. The men of the 2nd Rep weren't superhuman. They didn't have superpowers. They were consistent, disciplined, relentless in their everydayness. Their heroism wasn't in grand acts, but in choosing to be better every single day, even when no one was watching. Evening at Raffalli. That evening, Camp Raffalli looked peaceful from the outside, almost idyllic. But inside the barracks, every man was preparing silently for the next day. Folding uniforms, polishing boots, checking gear, a silence full of understanding. Reflection in the dark. As I lay on my bed, the commander's words echoed in my mind. You passed. But that means nothing yet. And he was right. It wasn't an end. It was the removal of the first, thickest layer of crust. The new reality. Tomorrow would bring another test, and the day after that, and every day after that. The test would no longer be called a test. It would be called service. The sense of place, finale. But deep inside, I felt something steady, unshakable, like a stone in a river's current. It wasn't elation, it was certainty. This was where I belonged. What had happened today wasn't a finale. It was only the beginning. If you like this series, subscribe.